All right, here's Moon Pie. It's been a while, as usual. I know I say that almost every video, but it's always true. I work probably every third or fourth weekend at my normal job. Had a lot of stuff going on around the house, different things. Of course, October, we got some birthdays. November kind of starts the holiday weekends. We've got big families on both sides, several places to be, so we kind of split all that up. For instance, we went to the wife's parents this past weekend and done our Christmas, and we've done several different events in the weekends past. If I wasn't working, it seems like we've been somewhere doing something. So anyway, I've picked at my old 56 a little bit. I'll do a video on it sometime. Still got a lot to do on it. Still got a lot to do on Moon Pie. So I'm bound and determined to get this truck out of here. We've done a lot to this truck. This thing's set for a long time, and I don't know what that was. It's set for a long time. So we've been through it front to back. As far as today, I've got most of the interior back in the truck. The truck just got back from Tim's, had a lot of metal work done. And the biggest thing that I've got done on the truck in the last few days has been this body molding. This stuff can be aggravating. I've done a bunch of these trucks as far as putting this side molding on. I've tried just a little bit of everything as far as prepping the body underneath the trim so that it will stick good. And sometimes you'll come back out and right here, like where the body kind of rolls in, that'll kind of be lifting back up. That stuff is pretty rigid. I've got a piece here just to kind of show you. It's pretty stiff, and I mean I'm pushing on it pretty hard there. So again, pretty rigid, and there's several areas on these trucks where it's got to kind of roll up. Right here especially, and on these pre-cut kits, this piece is long enough to wrap all the way around and take the place of this aluminum piece. Now, you can do that or don't. It's not exactly flat right here. GM put that on there for a reason. So when you lay your trim down, you're going to have kind of a gap back here, so you got to kind of work that down and make it roll with that bedside, if that makes sense. If not, get out there and try it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You can do it either way. But like I said, with the pre-cut kit, that is the only cut you'll have to make as long as you order it for the right gas tank door that you have. This was a dual tank truck. This pre-cut kit was ordered for a single tank truck. So I did have to cut that section out and make that work. Now, when you cut this stuff, they make a sealer for it. It's pretty expensive. So you can kind of see here, it's got different layers. So it's got like a plastic layer, a chrome film layer, and then the rubber. You can buy that sealer, or you can do like me. I use clear fingernail polish. So run in and raid your wife's fingernail polishes, find some clear, and when you cut it, just rub it on the ends with clear fingernail polish. That'll seal it right up. It does just fine. Probably wouldn't hurt, I guess, a year or two down the road, maybe go back through and reseal it. Usually that's what happens to this trim. That seal is broken on the ends, and moisture gets in between the layers and it turns it yellow. If you have an old Squarebody truck, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Clear fingernail polish when you cut it. As far as prepping this truck, and I was really successful with this one, it's not pulled up anywhere. I've used brake cleaner in the past. I've used that adhesive promoter. That shit don't work. I don't care what they say. And again, it's in the 30s here in East Tennessee right now. It's cold. So that makes a big difference. And of course, I got heaters and stuff in here. This garage, it'll stay around 60 to 70 degrees when I got my heaters going in here. Of course, the metal can still be cold. Takes a while to heat that metal back up. Now, if you're outside on a good hot summer day, you'll probably have a lot better luck. So anyway, I peeled the trim off the sides. I took a gasket cleaner with a straight razor blade about the width of that trim and just cleaned up all the old goo and glue and crud and all that crap that was on the metal. And I heated it. I scraped all that off, then I wiped it down with lacquer thinner. Now, have a little sense when you're using lacquer thinner. Don't take your spray bottle and just go down through here soaking the truck down, especially if you have like some old tractor paint or something on it. That's not going to end well. just take your rag, spray some lacquer thinner on the rag, and clean that area up good where that trim goes on the truck. So after you get it cleaned with lacquer thinner, find you a torch, just a little handheld torch. I'm not talking about oxyacetylene torches. Don't do that. Just a little torch with a propane tank on it. You're not going to kill your paint. Now, common sense is going to have to come into play here, guys. Don't come out here and grab a torch up and burn your paint and get pissed at me. This is just how I do it. You do it however you want to do it. But, again, I've not had any issues. So, just to show you that that you're not just going to kill your paint, I'm going to heat this fender up. Mr. PIB is probably going to have a heart attack when he watches the video, but I ain't going to hurt it, Jimmy, I promise. So anyway, you can kind of see it's burning the moisture off that paint. You want to get it pretty hot, but again, common sense is going to go a long way here. Do not stay in one spot too long. So I guarantee you right there, yes, that's very, very hot. So that's about all you need. You could go a little more here. Obviously, if you burn it a little under that trim where the trim's going to go, it's not a big deal. But again, just keep that torch moving. Don't stay in one place too long. When you put your trim on here, especially right here in these little rounded edges, hold that for just a minute. Make sure that that's got a good bond. And you know, of course, if it don't, as soon as you pull back, it's gonna raise up. So just hold that on there for a minute. Make sure you're good and straight. Make sure it's not a little crooked or something, because once it bonds to it, it's going to be very hard to get off. I've tried to peel this off. Now, I've not stuck a screwdriver in there and jerked on it or nothing, but just with my hands, and had no luck pulling any of it off. So I think we're good to go. I know Left Turn Bill, we had some issues with the body molding on it. I believe that may have been the truck I used the adhesive promoter on. I can't remember. But again, guys, lacquer thinner, torch, make sure your metal's good and hot, and seal those ends up. You can order the sealer or just use clear fingernail polish. Totally up to you. If you want to spend the money, get the sealer. But I was told from the guy at Dave's that sells the sealer that I could just use clear fingernail polish. It was the same thing. So he was, you know, why would he tell me that if it wasn't true when he could sell me the sealer? And it's always worked fine for me. Anyway, there it is. If you have any questions about putting this trim on, it's pretty clear cut, pretty simple job to do. Now, if you're doing, I'll go ahead and mention this, if you're doing the roll and you're cutting it yourself, make sure that you leave a gap right here. If you pull that all the way up here, when you open that door, it's going to peel off. So yeah, that has to be back here a little bit. You got to have a gap there. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. See there, as it comes up, it's going to get closer and closer to that fender. So if that was much longer at all, it would grab that fender and peel that trim off. Just watch what you're doing, guys. It's pretty easy, but like I said, if you have any questions, get with me. I'll do my best to answer them. As always, I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.